here at the VMware Public Sector Innovation Summit, and I'm joined by Sharon Woods, Acting Director of the Hack at DISA. Sharon, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Billy. Really appreciate it.
Sharon, let's start with a question on how you see your agency's constituents benefiting from the adoption of a multi-cloud IT strategy.
So, as you can imagine, the Department of Defense's mission is highly diverse. There is no one-size-fits-all. There is no single solution that could possibly meet all of those requirements. So when it comes to multi-cloud, the key there is optionality. So the hosting and compute center, we're working very hard to get the joint warfighting cloud capability in place. And one of the key differentiators with that acquisition is that it is multi-vendor. And one of the key reasons is because of the diversity of the mission. So if we're going to meet the needs of the entire department, we have to have multiple clouds in place.
So how do you see public sector agencies taking more innovative approaches to cybersecurity and data protection in 2022?
So, folks talk about it a lot, but I do think we've made some progress on DevSecOps. So I think, that becomes important on a number of fronts. In terms of the security component of this, when you create that pipeline, there have to be security checkpoints so that the security is truly integrated in what is going on. So what results is more predictable and understood, and if you're using a DevSecOps pipeline in the first place, it's a more modern application. So you're able to use that tooling that lets you continuously understand what is happening with that cybersecurity footprint. So it's less of a mystery. And I think demystifying things, having more understanding, and not only that, but now authorizing officials can come in, maybe using an API, and they can look too and see what's going on. And that's a completely different relationship with authorizing officials than we have now when we're sort of throwing paperwork over the fence.
Sure. Obviously, none of this is possible without great, talented personnel doing it. So how do you see digital workforce enablement helping agencies improve how they attract and retain skilled employees?
I think it's huge. And one of the pieces of this is we have to retain them. And one of the fears we always have in the federal government is that we have unique mission and unique things that we can teach the workforce. And then we skill them, and sometimes they leave. And I don't think we should be afraid of that, but we have to make it, frankly, fun. Right? That's why we call ourselves hackers. That's why we're really pushing for folks to tinker and to try minimum viable product type approaches where you maybe do a small prototype, and if we don't like it, we just drop it and try something else. I think when you encourage the workforce to explore things, knowing that it may not work out, that's a really big difference. And then for the hack, it differentiates us from any other kind of agency that maybe isn't taking that approach. So people say sort of fail fast. I prefer the fail forward mentality. And it's been of great benefit already to the hack.
Fantastic. And as we close, let's talk about the pandemic and what's next a little bit. Agencies had to move rapidly to acquire novel IT solutions during the pandemic, and I'd love to hear how you see those efforts impacting longer-term acquisitions and acquisition reform.
Sure. So I'm really proud of what we did because we deployed the commercial virtual remote environment. So that was 365. At the time, the department did not have an enterprise-wide 365 instance, and so in less than 30 days, we provisioned and deployed over 3 million accounts, which had never been done before, and we were told that's actually the largest tenant in the world, and certainly no one had achieved that timeline. What that did is every single time someone said, it's impossible to move that quickly, we were able to say, yes, it is. And so that changed the conversation that leadership was having. And so actually, I think it helped accelerate the more enduring, permanent, Microsoft 365 tenants that we have in place now. So rather than that becoming this, elongated multi-effort with COVID, it pressurized everything. It really put leadership in a position where the mission required us to move fast. It let us deploy CVR in less than 30 days. It broke that perspective that it's impossible to move that quick. And so that just became the fuel to really drive forward the more enduring 365 solutions. And that was not the only space where those kinds of things happened. But I think that's definitely one of the more visible ones.
Well, it's quite an accomplishment, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Sharon, thanks again for joining us at the Public Sector Innovation Summit.
Absolutely, appreciate it. Thank you so much.